this engine supposed to sound like a subwoofer? It's even pulling vacuum and not vacuum at the same time. It's running better. Pretty shaky on a cold start. Direct injection injectors, say that 5 times fast. Pretty loud on these things. I mean, any car that's direct injected, not exclusive to this vehicle. It sounds like a diesel. I went ahead and did spark plugs on this thing. They're not too bad. They're a little dirty though. Looks like original plugs at 105,000 miles. I just put a new set in as a courtesy. That's what you get when you bring your car to me. If it's cheap enough, I'll do a little extra. We got to do a water pump on this because it doesn't seem to be flowing any coolant at all. All the heater hoses bypass the thermostat, so when I put my temp gun on these hoses back here, I got like 80 degrees when the engine's at 210. But we do have a coolant leak. On that heater hose there. That hose is loose, so I'm going to try and trim that back and put a regular hose clamp on it. I'm going to drop the oil on this thing. We already got the stuff for it. It needs an oil change. And throw already threw a set of plugs at it. I'm going to throw the water pump in. I'm thinking that possibly the impeller is damaged somehow on it. Because when we ran this thing, it was at 210 degrees. All these hoses were lukewarm. And it has no heat. The heater hoses are were like 80, 90 degrees. And it had absolutely no heat out of the dash. So I'm going to get those hoses off. I'm going to do a heater core flush on it. Probably while I have the water pump out. Next, I got to jack the motor up and pull this mount out. Get the belt off, and then we get that water pump out of there. Alright, I'm working on a friend's Hyundai! And it has a cooling system issue. So we're running 187, 189. It's been running for almost 10 minutes now. I feel like it should be hotter than that. When I come here and touch the hose, this is the upper radiator hose where the thermostat is, and I can keep my hand on it. Heater hoses, top one is ice cold, the lower one is like lukewarm. I don't even know if I'd say lukewarm. So I'll put my thermal gun on here. It says about 80 some degrees. We'll get her on the lower hose for 73 degrees. We're 132 on the upper there. Look at that, we're 60 some degrees on the lower one. Cooling fan's running full bore. It's running the AC, but I don't have the AC selected, so that's why the fan's on. I'm pretty sure the water pump is out on this. Even if the thermostat was not right, the heater hoses still have a bypass, so when the thermostat is closed, it will still allow coolant flow into the heater core. So we're 192 on the coolant temp. As soon as you drive it though, she goes red hot. So I think we definitely have a water pump issue. I've got a new water pump that we're gonna put in. think I'm gonna turn it off now, get the coolant draining out of it, and then I've got to pull this motor mount out, jack the engine up, get the belt off, and then I can get down to the water pump. I might take this alternator out, just so I have a little more room. The water pump is right down there. So I wonder if the impeller disintegrated, and it's possible to plug the heater core, but we don't have any circulation. You know, the heater core is not going to have a chance to heat up at all. So, yep, that's an update. I apologize for the heater noise, but I'm cold and it's cold out here. Okay, I just took the radiator hose off. You know, this thing's pretty warm. Feels good on the hands. But yeah, I pulled the cap and it didn't even burp at all. So let's open up our valve here. Get splashed with coolant. It's green. This is supposed to have blue in it. This stuff. So it's gonna go in with the Hyundai flavor. This is ice cold. This thing was running at 200 some degrees. It's possible it needs a thermostat, but I've never seen anything run like this with a bad thermostat. I just feel like the heater should get hot. So we're gonna have to flush the heater core. Now it's starting to get kind of warm. All right, I got the motor jacked up pretty high here. Just a little. Yeah, I can't really go any further. I'll stretch out that radiator hose. Found the motor mount here. There's a hydraulic motor mount. It's blown out. It leaked all of its schmoo out. So you gotta jack it up to gain access to the water pump here. Oh, listen to that. It's got a bearing. Pretty much getting ready to go. As far as I'm concerned, this has the original water pump on it. I'm thinking we're gonna find a bad impeller. At least I'm hoping to find that. But either way, with that bearing sounding kind of dry like that, you know, that's gonna be a problem. It's pretty easy to spin. I got no resistance. I'm hoping we have a bad impeller. This thing is just, you know, it's lukewarm. The motor itself is nice and toasty, but all the hoses and everything are completely either cold or lukewarm. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to put a new motor mount. That will be an easy replacement. We can live with the factory one or the broken one for now. But yeah, so you get the motor. I just take the whole thing out. It makes it easier. Get the belt off, and which I think this has the original belt. It's in pretty good shape. Probably rock that for another 105,000 miles. All right, let's see. Should we just put a screw in here? Just because took that little idler out of the way just so I can get at this a little bit better. I had to use a box end wrench, 10 millimeter, to get that little guy. Yep. I'm just gonna leak a little bit. It's definitely warm there. Just not warm anywhere else. Well, we got an impeller. Why are we not getting any coolant flow? It may need a thermostat. But that bearing sounding pretty dry. almost 190 and it's not opening. Need a thermostat.